NASTEHE ABUBAKAR's childhood came to an abrupt end when she was 5 years old. Now at 31, she recalls that painful day as she sits in her homestead in Hola, Tana River County. As a young girl, NASTEHE underwent infibulation, type 3 of female genital mutilation, which involves removal of the external female genitalia and sealing of the vulva such that only a small opening is left.
Mama alinichukua tu akanipeleka msituni. Kulikuwa na wasichana wengi na wamama wengi hiyo mahali. Sasa nikaona tu damu nyingi. Watu wanalia, tu wasichana wanalia, wamama wengi, wengine wanakushika macho, wengine wanakushika mguu, wengine wanakushika hapa kifua, unazuiliwa chini. Basi tulikuwa wengi na wembe yenye imetumika ilikuwa ni moja.
Before the cut, she was made to believe it would make her complete, clean and accepted in the community.
Nikafungwa kuanzia kiuno paka hiyo vidole ya mguu, nikafungwa hivi. Hasa wakati unakojoa hiyo siku sasa, ukisikia mikojo inakuwasha. Sasa ukitaka kukojoa inawasha zaidi paka mama achukue kipepeo akupepee. Dawa ni makaa. Hii makaa ya kupikia chakula. Hiyo ndio wanatuanga pamoja na hiyo kinyezi ya punda wanakausha, hiyo ndio dawa. Hata kama unatoa damu ni ngapi, kama hata damu yako yote inatoka, hauwezi peleka hospitali. Ni nyumbani tu.
After healing, NASTEHE realized that she was not stable to walk. Her hip joint had dislocated as a result of her legs being tied for long.
Nikajaribu kutembea nikaanguka kwa sababu hakuna balance ya kutembea. Kakaa nyumbani 3 years, siponi. Nikafika 10 years nikauliza mama, kwa nini watu wanatembea vizuri mimi sitembei vizuri venye watu wanatembea? Kaniambia wewe umevunjika wakati umekeketwa. Lakini kwanza ulikuwa mtu kawaida, ulikuwa unatembea kama watu kawaida. So nikamuuliza kwa nini umenifanya hivyo mama? Kwa nini umenikata? Akaniambia ni mila yetu hiyo.
The birth of a child should be a time of wonder and celebration. But in Tana River County, more often the awaited bundle of joy becomes the point of misery, as many women lose their pregnancies due to complications of female genital mutilation. For any mother, the pain of losing a child while giving birth is unimaginable. But for 27-year-old Fatima Ibrahim, September 4th, 2020 will forever be etched on her mind. She lost her baby after a prolonged labor.
Nilipoumwa tu nimeenda hospitali. Lakini sasa kwa bahati mbaya kufika huko hospitali ikawa njia tena haifunguki. Sasa haina mahali ya kupita kabisa mtoto, manake njia ni kidogo. Hakuna mahali ya kupitia. Ndio ikabidi tena nikatwe ndio mtoto apite. Sasa mtoto kupita kwa vile amechoka, ametoka akiwa na hai kidogo tu akakufa. Nimebleed sana mpaka nimebaki na 0.6 peke yake. Nitolewa kwa matani niende kwa ward. Nimezirai ikawa siwezi hata tembea.
For Fatma, previous deliveries have been difficult. She underwent the cut when she was young and healed first, but that was short-lived when she got married. When she conceived, delivery proved impossible. The first experience was not what she had hoped for or imagined.
Wiki mzima nilikuwa naumwa. Nikapelekwa hospitali siku ya 7 ndio nilipelekwa hospitali. Kupelekwa hospitali kwa mtoto amechoka kwa sababu ya njia hakuna ya kupitia. Nikapelekwa fieta nikajifungua na upasuaji. Kupasuliwa mpaka mtoto wangu sasa amelemaa. Ni mlemavu sasa na akaona miaka 12. Hata mimi mwenyewe niliita kwa mkunga anisaidie na akashindwa kunisaidia mkunga mpaka yeye mwenyewe ndiye alitamka nipelekwe hospitali.
Fatma's daughter has cerebral palsy, an incurable condition that is thought to be caused by brain damage before, during or soon after birth. Rahma is like any other child. She has her happy and sad moments. She just can't express them. She is a very jovial girl who loves attention. Fatma says she has undergone so much stress and pain raising her child who needs extra care.
Haongei, hatembei. Nasikia vibaya sana mtoto wangu akiwa anakaa chini na ni mtoto mkubwa sana wa kunisaidia.
For Halima, not her real name, the primal business of childbirth comes at a very high price. She was circumcised at age 7, and by the time she was 14, she was already married. She lost 3 consecutive babies as the birth canal had been stitched too narrow. She says all her 3 babies suffocated during birth. Her agony began with her first pregnancy.
marka operation legally anuguna foosho ku rafaaday marka legally meesha anugu meedo noqday.
Her ordeal was not over, as little did she know that the same tragedy awaited her with her second and third pregnancy. For her second baby, she gave birth to a stillborn child, while the third died shortly after birth. When she became pregnant for the 4th time, she had to be admitted to hospital for 2 months prior to the due date. She gave birth to a healthy baby girl, but her happiness was short-lived. Halima developed obstetric fistula, which is a hole in the birth canal caused by prolonged and obstructed labor. She thought she would lick urine forever, driving herself deeper into isolation. She had to go 3 surgeries, and it has been just over a year since her last operation. At the age of 10, Sadia Hussein underwent the cut, and to date, she remembers the pain she experienced, coupled with the trauma and other complications that followed.
When I reached marriage, now I had to again go through the infibulation process. That is another FGM altogether. It's reopening. Before they stitch you together, but now they have to reopen you again with a razor, so that you are free.
During birth, she experienced flashbacks of being cut, which is a common experience of survivors. Neither she nor the traditional birth attendants had any idea how to try to make the birth easier.
My first delivery was again another hell altogether. I was on labor pain for 3 days, and I wanted to go to the hospital, but my mom told me the hospital is very bad because they will cut you with a pair of scissors. After the cut, there is a scar that is left. So for the baby to come out, you have to be cut again so that the baby can have to pass out a normal way. You don't have to tamper with the baby's head and everything. The hospital, they cut you with a scissors, yes, but they cut you both sides. But for the traditional birth attendants, they cut any formula.
Mother and baby were both in jeopardy, and the pain that Sadia can never forget was a deep agony.
I was overwhelmed. I was so tired. I was so traumatized. The labor pain, the pain of being cut by the traditional birth attendants, it was too much for me to bear. But at the end of the day, I gave birth to my first daughter. The second delivery was still the same. So the third delivery, I opted now to go to the hospital. I had to deliver through cesarean. And I gave up and I said, if this FGM is following me until now, then it's over. I'm ready to raise my 3 daughters and I don't want to give birth anymore. And I continued with my campaign.
About 50% of women in Tana River County deliver under the care of traditional birth attendants. According to medical practitioners, women who have undergone FGM are more likely to have complicated births.
Labor is a monitored process. It's a monitored and recorded process. And we have labor monitoring charts. And this means that we have to have access to the exit from the womb, that is the cervix, the way it's behaving. The bigger problem is the mother who labors at home for long. By the time they're coming, you have a complication. You have an exhausted baby. Some of them are so severe that we cannot manage to monitor that baby safely. Because then you have to make this cut at the start of labor, and you'll have a lot of blood loss. So for some, we have to make a hard choice to go for operative delivery so that we can have that baby safely, because we can't even estimate the size of the pelvis in relation to the baby, as they would be coming down out of the uterus. When you're doing that cesarean section, you need to get the bladder away, okay? So in a situation where you can't even see it, so that you can deflate it, sometimes there are cases we have to go in with a bladder that is still in front of the uterus. So it takes a lot of technique to be able to safely maneuver and get that baby out safely. And we are seeing these cases. During birth, we have to create some more space, what we call an episiotomy. This can happen even in a normal delivery, and even when we make the cut to make it safe for the baby to come out, remember it will heal with more scar. So it also ends up having, the birth process becomes very traumatic, and it has psychological effects on these mothers.
Due to the small opening, it becomes very hard for some girls to even pass the menses. So they have to be either reopened or go for operation because of the accumulative blood at the abdomen, at the uterus. The girl is left with a lot of pain.
More than 30 years later, NASTEHE has learned to limp her way into happiness, encouraging girls and women to abandon the cart. In 2013, she started the DAYAA Women's Group, a survival-led women group that carries out End FGM campaigns in the vast Tana River County. Their faces shine with smiles, but behind the smiles are stories of trauma not every woman has the courage to tell. But they seem united in sharing lasting damage due to their circumcision experience.
Sisi wenyewe ilikuwa tukienda vijijini, sangine tunatolewa, tunafukuzwa hasa. Wazee wanachukua mafimbo wakitufukuzwa wakisema hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Sasa ikawa tunatumia mashehe.
Men are resistant and they are stubborn in our communities. This is because they do not know what women and girls go through. There are those men who are stubborn enough to say, I will not marry a lady who is not cut. But step by step, and starting with the engagement of elders as the key decision makers in the communities, they have managed to create a conducive atmosphere of trust and confidence to discuss these culturally sensitive issues. What really helped me in my campaign is when other survivors started speaking about their own stories and challenging their husbands of what they went through. My strength lies with the survivors.
Wasichana wanaathirika sana hii wakati wa COVID. Wanakeketwa, wanapata mimba, wanaozwa. Tunaongea na wamama ya hiyo mji pamoja na wasichana, wazee. Tunawaleta mahali moja, tunawaelimisha madhara ya FGM, tunaelezea. Mahali sasa hatuwezi fika, tunatumia radios, hizi local radios ya Tana River. Kuna mahali zingine haifiki radio. Tunatembea na mguu.
The pain and suffering that survivors have gone through, largely because of the health complications that resulted from the cart, stirred up their zeal to fight against the outdated practice, hoping to bring much needed protection for the girl child. Already the campaign has started to yield fruits, with several renowned female circumcisers abandoning the harmful practice and handing the tools of trade to authorities. Esha Godantu spent much of her life performing female genital mutilation on girls in her community. She cannot remember how many girls she has cut, but she knows what the consequences have been.
Nimeendelea na hiyo kazi miaka 15. Sisi tunakata na msichana moja shilingi 1000. Asubuhi hii akikata msichana 10, mimi tayari nako na shilingi 10,000. Kumbe sisi tunafanya kazi ya Israeli. Hata kuna wakati anakeketwa hivyo pia, anapuja damu mpaka mtoto anakuja kufa. Anakosa damu mwilini. Hii kitu ni kweli mbaya. Hako na madhara kwa wasichana. Msichana kwetu bana anaoa, leo usiku anapelekewa bana, msichana analia mpaka aje aingie hii nyumba. Ana raha. Hapo pia tumeona ni shida. Pengine mwingine achoke arudie kwa sisi wanawake. Tukate tena huyu msichana. Tufanye njia yani.
She decided to drop the blade and become a champion against FGM.
Niko mwaka 7 mimi nimesema basi. Serikali mimi nimewacha. Kila siku wanatupeleka kwa semina na manye aliyofanya tukiona na macho yetu tunashitaki kwa serikali.
So far in Tana River, I have hundreds of girls who are role models who have not gone through FGM, starting with my own 3 daughters. They are not cut. And I also have 2 FGM-free villages.
The Wata community, a small ethnic group in Tana River, is a success tale in the war against female genital mutilation. Since 2009, FGM has not been conducted among the Wata. Mariam Boche, a mother of 6, including 2 daughters whom she has protected from this practice, says that at first it wasn't easy to let go of this tradition.
Hata sisi wengine wanataka kupigana na sisi. Sema nyinyi mnafanya tabia mbaya, kwa nini mnaleta mambo kama haya? Na ni mila yetu. Paka saa hiyo wengine hawana raha na sisi. Tumekazania sana paka wakawacha. Hiyo mama ndiye alikuwa akikeketa watu.
Mimi mwenyewe nimejipeleka kuacha hiyo. Paka nimeenda kwa Sadia, nimeenda ofisi ya DC, paka nikapatiwa zawadi ya mbuzi.
Ni kama dhulma tunafanyia watoto wetu. Na sisi nasi tuko na kamati kwa vijiji tunaangalia. Ni nani anafanyia? Nani amesafirisha msichana mahali? Inafuatiliwa huyu msichana akirudi amepitia nini, kuna mtu anaenda na mchunguza ili apate kujua kama kuna mambo kama imefanyika, hata kama ni siri inajulikana.
Sasa wasichana wetu wanasoma mpaka wanamaliza form 4 wanaenda wanapata kazi na baby mimba na kuna mvulana anakataa wao.
The enactment of the Prohibition of Female Genital Mutilation Act 2011 was a key milestone in the campaign to end FGM in the country. But while the law, coupled with increased awareness of the harmful effects of FGM, has helped reduce prevalence to 21 from 27% in 2009, the practice persists in some communities.
FGM, the first degree, which is main removal of clitoris, then we have the second degree, which is removal of clitoris, removal of the labia minora and beta majora. It has a lot of issues because of scarification, and the highest degree is where everything is cut and just a small opening is left, and this is what is causing a lot of problems.
Kama wewe unakata utashikwa, watapelekwa jela 3 years ama fine ya 200,000 ama zote mbili. That's a very punitive law. Kama ulikuwa hapo mtu akikatwa utashikwa. Kama wewe ni chief wa hiyo area, assistant chief, na unajua kuna ukataji inaendelea, utashikwa. Kama wewe uko kwa medical kama nurse nini pia utashikwa. Thirdly, hata ukijaribu kuenda country nyingine because we are border, ati muende Ethiopia, kama wewe ni Borana mkimbia Ethiopia, pia huko utashikwa na utafungiwa huko. Ya mwisho ambayo ni pia ni ya maana, kama wewe mdomo yako tu ni kusema huyu msichana hajakeketwa, hawezi pata bwana, hata wewe utashikwa na ufungwe 6 months. So we are finding all the loopholes to funge.
Even if we say that we are running around prosecuting everyone or making sure that we take everybody to jail, it is one of the strategies that we are using. But now as Anti-FGM board and as government, we have said we have to use a lot of dialogues also. We have to convince people that this is something that they need to just do away with.
Somali has the highest prevalence rate at 94%, followed by Samburu with 86%, Kisii 84%, Masai 78%, Pokot 77%, and Embu at 33%. Other communities include Meru 31% and Kalenjin at 27.7%. Each of the practicing communities attaches a different significance to the right.
Jamii yetu mara nyingi wanga wanasema msichana kama hajakeketwa anaharibika, anakuanga yani hisia yake inakuanga juu zaidi. Na kikeketwa ndio wanga kidogo itakuwa imepungua.
Inasemekana ati msichana kama hajakeketwa hawezi olewa. Hawezi swali, aende misikiti hawezi swali. Wengi wamekeketwa na wameshika mimba, wengi wamekeketwa wanazurura bado. So hakuna tofauti yote.
Until you young people say you young men say, I am okay with her the way she is, we won't move. You must be able to openly marry a girl who has not gone through FGM and be proud about it.
But we don't want to make the girls who have already been cut to feel like we are saying they should not get married. She did not choose to get cut at that age, at 6, at 7, at 8. She found herself already a survivor of FGM.
Approximately 9.3 million women and girls in Kenya have undergone FGM, which makes about 6% of the number of women who have undergone the cut globally.
We have our voices as women, and we are going to use our voices to speak up and say that enough is enough. If every woman in this country who has gone through FGM says no today, they will not do it for their own daughters, then we should be at 0, not by 2022, but by tomorrow.
The decision by Muslim religious leaders in Tana River to talk about the dangers of female genital mutilation has turned into a significant campaign against the practice.
Kutokana na dini ya Uislamu ni haramu na ni haramu na ni haramu na ni haramu. Kwa vile imekuwa mila ngumu sana, watu wanafikiri ati ni dini. Na hakuna sheikh ambaye anaweza kuletea kwamba hii ni halali. Hakuna. Lakini watu wamefikiria hii imekuwa na sheria ya Kiislamu, si sheria ya Kiislamu.
No issue which has mentioned that Prophet Muhammad's daughters were circumcised. He had daughters, 4 of them. We didn't know here. And then his wife also. Because if it is a religious issue, we will have been told that historically there is the congregation of circumcising ladies. When we are facing people, we were fearing, we were saying, now this issue may be very difficult. But as we penetrated into the people, discussed with them, and have dialogue with them, with a lot of sensitization, things are changing.
Since November 2019, there has been an elaborate effort by the government to fight the vice after President Uhuru Kenyatta launched the campaign to eradicate FGM by 2022.
This is not an easy task that we are undertaking. In order to achieve this goal, we must initiate community-based programs that are culturally sensitive and encourage change in social norms. I am confident that we are on the right track and that we will achieve zero FGM in Kenya by the year 2022.
Deputy President William Ruto has also been vocal in the fight against FGM.
Maneno ya zamani ya kuja kukata watoto wasichana na kuwapeleka mahali pengine hapo kona, hiyo maneno lazima tusimamishe. Nimesema hiyo maneno lazima tukomeshe. Mumesikia ile nimesema? Na muache kunyamaza kwa sababu mimi naona pengine nyinyi mko na mpango mwingine. Hiyo mpango mwingine mtawacha.
We are not fighting culture. We are fighting negative culture that harms the rights of any individual.
Now we are using more visual, especially for the men, because the men are the ones who don't know what happens. And the shock on the men's eyes when you show them the videos and the photos completely changes them. Men cannot watch it for the next 1 minute. They all walk out. And when they come back, they say nobody should ever touch my daughter.
Community elders and religious leaders drawn from 22 counties most affected by FGM also resolved to end the cut in the country by 2022.
Now we have already a commitment by the Gumigayo elders from the Barana community. They've already given their commitment that FGM is against their own law. The Samburu community elders have given a commitment that they are going to give an alternative rite of passage. The same with the Maasai elders from Kajiado and Narok. And so we are seeing a very positive trend.
Mimi kingi ya WARDEI msimamo yangu ni hiyo ya kuacha mambo ya FGM, kuacha kureketwa wasichana. Ilikuwa inafanywa hadharani. Na sasa mtu kama anafanya anajificha aende msituni kabisa, lakini si kabisa. Tumekataa hiyo kitu na tumehimiza community kitu wachane.
Tana River County is one of the 22 hotspots counties where FGM is rampant.
Hatuwezi shindwa kutoa wale wamama wanakeketa kwa ground na kuwapatia pesa. Hatuwezi shindwa kwa sababu chiefs wameniambia katika kila location. Wakeketaji wa mama ni 2, 3 wanajulikana hata. So si ati watu wengi watatusumbua. We are 100% sure tunaweza wapatia pesa to get a new livelihood.
Worldwide, 200 million women are survivors of FGM. What if all of them were walking without their noses, without their lips? It would be an international crisis.
Her experience and that of survivors are the basis of her maiden book, The Hidden Scars of FGM. The 50-page book gives insights to her own struggles after the cut, complexities of traditions and religion in ending the vice, and recommendations thereto.
A lot of resources has been channeled towards ending FGM, but people have been missing the points, the links of how to end FGM. And that's what I've put in The Hidden Scars of FGM, the approaches, the strategies to use in order for us to end FGM. And for survivors to be able to share their stories, we must make sure that we build their confidence and make sure that we don't further stigmatize them.
No need for mutilation. Give me education.
This determined activists believe in impacting one girl at a time, one community at a time, until all girls are free from FGM. They also believe freeing women and girls from FGM by 2022 would become a reality if every member of the community personalizes the fight against the cut.